Hi everyone, in this video I will be turning an exercise from Richard Raffan's book and DVD, Turning Boxes. In this book he goes into detail about proportions and ratios and how they work in the designs of boxes, such as the lid of the box being 1/3 or 2/5 of the total height of the box, or how beads and coves and V notches can make a box look top heavy or over cumbersome. He also touches on how finials on the top of boxes can either help or hurt in the flow of the design of how your eye transitions from the base to the top of the piece. Also, he discussed how too much detail in the top of the box with a lack of detail in the bottom will make a box look heavy and like it might tip over. And too much detail on the bottom of the box can make a box look cumbersome or just gaudy in general. In both the book and the DVD, he said that one way to discover these design flaws and also get practice on the more challenging cuts is to turn solid forms, as they give you something to hold on to, spin around, look at in different views and angles, and also you can feel just the aesthetics of the box and whether it just has a good feel or not. By doing this, you can save on your more expensive box turning timber and use cheaper timbers, such as I am in this video. Uh, I'm using Douglas fir or Doug fir, depends on how you want to say it. I've heard it called both ways. I buy mine from the big box stores. I usually get a timber of 8 foot length, 3.5 inch square cross section for around $15 US. This seems to be about the most economical practice wood that I can seem to find. Personally, I would much rather practice on poplar, but I cannot seem to find poplar in this cross section at a reasonable price. That being said, Doug fir is a soft and chippy wood that is difficult to get clean cuts on. So, in theory, if I can cut this wood with getting clean cuts, then I should be able to cut practically any wood and get nice clean cuts as well. So, that's a plus for using it as a practice wood. Richard Raffan goes in talking about how after you turn these solid forms, if you paint them black, it gives you a better idea of the silhouette for a reference towards turning into a final project box. On this particular silhouette form, I was going for somewhat of an acorn box shape, except for I wanted to have a flat bottom so it could sit on a desk or a dresser. I decided to put two beads where the lid would fit to the box versus one bead, as would be typical on an acorn box. The spindle gouge I'm using, I modified from a traditional grind to somewhat of a 40-40 grind like you would use on a bowl gouge. It's not quite the same grind that Cindy DeRosa uses, but somewhat similar. I'm really enjoying this grind as it makes the spindle gouge waste away material like a roughing gouge or a bowl gouge, but yet at the same time giving you the fine finesse of a skew. The only thing I really would have to say is entering into the wood, you have to watch. If you get a catch, it will skate across the project like a skew would. If you'd like to see a video on how I grind this grind on the tool, shoot me a comment in the comments below. Also, if there's anything that anyone would like for me to turn, I'll give anything a shot. I just done the 5 minute goblet challenge over the weekend, which was a blast to do, which I also used the same grind on the spindle gouge. Go check that video out if you would like. And on the whole subject of education and learning, uh, as a turner, you should never stop trying to learn. I have been hitting the Richard Raffan books pretty heavy here lately, as my local library carries most of his books on turning. Another good place to pick up a lot of information and education would be going to classes. And one way to find out about classes in your local area is if you join your local wood turning club, which you can find on the AAW's website, is whenever they have professional demonstrators, a lot of times they'll have a class the following weekend after the club meeting, or at least is the case with my club. And also, it's just great being able to talk to other turners and learn from the tips that they might give. And we have a demonstration pretty often, so I'd say that's pretty common with most turning clubs. And also, the clubs sometimes will have reference material that they either pass out or will rent out, like DVDs, books, etc., from the club also. It is well worth it, in my opinion, to join a wood turning club. Also, my club's got a club store, which where they buy a bunch of stuff in bulk, like anchor seal and things of that nature. And club members can get in on a little bit of discount where the club buys it as a bulk, and then they don't mark it up whenever they sell it as individual gallons. Never stop learning and bettering yourself as a turner or as a person in general. That being said, if you like this video, please subscribe, click the notification link, and we'll see you in the next video.